HSC Web TV, and we are broadcasting our program live from UOG TV, Center for Media and Mass Communication, University of Gujarat. Today, the topic of our discussion is going to be toxicity of human behavior. So stay connected with us. Hope so you all are doing great and enjoying your life to the fullest. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for joining us today. So let's move to our topic. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Yusuf.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you?
Fine.
Thank you so much for giving us your worthy time. It's always a privilege and pleasure to hear from you.
Likewise, it's my pleasure and my privilege to be invited and talk on this topic.
Sir, I have seen this thing that there is so much toxicity in our environment, in our society. And first of all, I think so I should make it clear to my audience that what exactly toxicity is or what are the toxic traits. So toxic traits or toxicity are the habits that we have in ourselves that are our ongoing activities that could create problem for other people, that could make ourselves as judgmental people. So I have seen it on daily basis that people are very much judgmental. They have make many more moral codes than before, and now they judge people according to their own standards, their own subjective approaches, and somehow their subjective approaches are manipulative and hypocritical too. So what is your opinion on that? What is the reason behind these toxic traits?
And this is very important topic.
Yes.
Because these traits or these factors or these variables affect our social lives.
Yes.
Or the fiber of our social lives. So we see and we observe in our daily lives, in social lives, that we see so much toxic behaviors, toxic
Yes.
people, and the toxic nature of relationships or social relationships which are quite prevalent around us or in our lives.
Yes.
So, I mean, they could range from, talking, doing backbiting, saying bad words about the other people, be judgmental about other people, about their physique, about their color, about their language, about
Yes.
their backgrounds. And it can be stereotypical as well.
Yes.
We are too judgmental that we reduce the people into certain categories, and then we stereotype them that they behave like a particular character, or we associate them with particular characters.
Yes.
And that is what creates panic.
Yes.
When the people whom you are talking about, in their absence, come to know those kind of attitudes, those kind of behaviors, those kind of endorsements, those kind of comments, they go through panic.
Yes.
Even if I use a soft word, or they go through traumas,
Yes.
because that affects their cognitions, their attitudes, their behaviors.
Yes.
So we need to be very careful. The words we utter, the words we use, the word we select or choose to say something, to describe something, to explain something, to narrate something, or tell a story about something. The words are not innocents.
Yes.
Words, apparently speaking, they don't have teeth, but they do bite.
Yes.
And their bites are deeper than severed.
Yes.
They are more painful than the physical wounds.
Yes, I completely agree.
So they wound our souls, our hearts, our mind, our nerves. They break our nerves. They shake our confidence.
Yes.
So, and we are doing it and we are taking it taken for granted. This is the
Yes.
most unfortunate thing, that we don't feel what we are doing.
Yes.
Sometimes people do it unconsciously, by a fashion,
Yes.
by a taken for granted
Nowadays,
approach.
it is considered very abnormal to behave normal and not be judgmental about other people.
So that's the point
Yes,
which you have
yes.
pinpointed, that it's very normal to be abnormal.
Yes.
And this abnormality has created abnormal surroundings.
Yes.
So sometimes it's very hard to breathe.
Yes.
Very, very hard to find a space where you can live, where
Yes.
you can talk, where you can spend your time,
Yes.
where you can think independently. And if you have independent thinking about anything, people will be judgmental about you or about us. Let me give you an example that, most of the time we agree with people.
Yes.
Sometimes we disagree. But I think even broader is that most of the time we agree to disagree.
Yes.
This is what intellect tells us, what social life should be, and could be.
Yes.
But the problem is that if we agree, we are treated in a very agreeable and amicable manner.
Yes.
We are treated to be friends. And
Yes.
if we disagree, it's also natural, because if we
Yes.
can agree somewhere, we can disagree.
Yes.
And even sometimes we agree to disagree.
Yes.
The problem is, if we disagree, we are considered to be standing on the other side of the spectrum.
Yes.
Having your own opinion is considered to be enemy,
Yes.
opponent, and that is the problematic situation. Because agreement, disagreement, and agree to agree or agree to disagree, they are the part of a culture, they are the part of a society, and especially the culture in which you and me live, like
Yes.
university. You cannot find most educated people
Yes.
than university one. I mean, look at the faculty. They are PhDs, and the PhD is the highest degree in the world. I mean, highly educated. You can say elite of education. And look at the students, the other side.
Yes.
They are great undergrads. I mean, doing their BS degrees. They are postgrads or postgraduates,
Yes.
like doing their MS, MPhil, or PhDs. So they also represent, or they also stand for a class of people from the society, and especially from our part of the society, which also is considered as elite. So
Yes.
as a whole, a complete entity, I mean, the people in university, both faculty and students, and even the supporting staff, what we call administrative staff, they are highly educated,
Yes.
well mannered, well polished, and they must be well behaved. So
Yes.
if we find these kind of things common among students or among the other segments of
Society.
of educational society,
Yes.
I mean, like campuses, this is even more painful than the rest of the society.
Yes.
Because actually these are the people, I mean, the graduates which we are training, which we are teaching, we are preparing them for their future lives,
Yes.
ethically, morally, technically, educationally, intellectually. I mean, we can take any perspective, approach, or dimension. So if we are imparting them this kind of training, morally speaking or ethically speaking, then this is a point to think.
Yes.
Why they are so much toxic? Why there is so much toxic, I mean, things are around
Environment.
us?
Yes.
Why we can't control it? And if this is the level of toxic, I mean, nature or surroundings, then look at the common society, where
Yes.
people are not highly educated. I mean, they are just some are uneducated, some are moderately educated,
Yes.
like they have a primary and or middle education. So what we can talk about them then? What we are actually teaching them?
Yes.
What kind of role model we are for them? What
Yes.
kind of standards we are framing, shaping, or setting for them? I think this is really point to think
Yes.
about us, and about the way we are teaching, or the way we are training our youth, that why these factors are very common, how we can handle them,
Yes.
and actually why it is, why the people are the way they are, why they are behaving the way
Yes.
they are behaving.
Understanding the psychological reason behind them. So conclude that we could say that you are saying it's on our part, the elite educated society, that we have to civilize other people and we have to tell them that what are the moral codes and we don't have to be toxic about them. So what do you think, how could we overcome this problem and how we as students could get rid of this toxic behaviors, these toxic traits? What's your opinion on
And
that?
that's an important question.
Yes.
And equally hard question to answer, because everybody could have a different perspective and approach about this.
Yes.
I can talk my perspective or my approach about this. I think one of the best thing is to forgive people. There is a lot of toxic nature, toxic things about us. I think once we find that something has said something about us or anything about us, the best thing is to ignore it and move forward. But sometimes, if we sink in this social sea of toxic nature, then we are not causing pain for other people. Actually, we are making our lives more toxic. So the
Yes.
important point is to look at ourselves, avoid being toxic,
Yes.
to be more flexible, and try to forgive the people. Try to ignore. And sometimes I say that words cannot hurt us. Actually, it's we who hurt us.
Yes.
If we select words carefully, attentively, consciously, with a conscious intent and mind, then we will, of course, think when we say something about someone, we will know that words do hurt.
Yes.
And the same words do heal as well.
Yes.
So it depends that what kind of words we use. Actually, most of the time it's not the content which is important.
Yes.
I mean, what we actually say.
Yes.
Actually, the more important thing is the way we say it.
We say it. Yes.
Actually, the tone of our
Voice.
narration
Yes.
or the voice, the way we say. People can forget what we actually say, but it's hard to forget the way we say,
Yes.
or the way we say something, the way we claim something, the way we narrate something, the way we describe something. So, cutting this long story short, it's important to be empathetical.
Yes.
We need to put ourselves in other people's shoes and then understand how they feel when they hear something negative about them. And then we will know that how we feel when someone say something negative about us.
Yes.
So we need to be not sympathetic in our life. We don't need to show sympathies with the people. Actually, we need to be empathetic with the people.
Yes.
We need to put ourselves in those kind of situations where we can feel the pain, the agony, the tension, the traumas,
Yes.
the catastrophes, what people go through, what people
Yes.
pass through. Once we could have or we can develop this kind of empathetic understanding, empathetic thinking, I think we can, in a better way, know how to heal and how to help people to heal,
Yes.
how to decrease this toxic nature or toxic behaviors, how to discourage them.
Yes.
Actually, most of the time we encourage them. If we are doing the same thing, we are
Yes.
encouraging it. The most important point or significant factor is that we decrease it. If we find some toxic people talking something toxic around us, we need to discourage them. We need to correct them. We need to shape their perception about the things. Most of the time, what we talk about the people is only our perception.
Yes.
And, to be more broader, we are what we perceive.
Yes.
Most of the time, even we don't know the outer layer of the people. The people or the relationships are like onion.
Yes.
The more we peel the onions, the more deeper we can understand
know,
the people.
yes.
But unfortunately, most of the time, most of the people even cannot touch the outer layer of people.
Yes.
Outer layer of people.
I think the very much thing that we lack as human beings or as educated people is tolerance.
Yeah.
We could not expect it from other people that they need to understand us, they need to tolerate us, the ones who are not that much educated, but we need to develop this thing into ourselves that we have to tolerate different behaviors and we don't have to respond. So what could be your concluding statement to end this all debate? And I would must say that you have summed it up very sensibly, and I would must appreciate that.
What you pointed out, we need to be tolerant. This
Yes.
is what I was saying, that we need to be empathetic.
Yes.
If we are empathetic, it means we understand the pains, we understand the joys, we understand the sorrows, the grief which people go through in these kind of situations. So need to be tolerant. We need to give space to people.
Yes. Most
Create
importantly.
space. And if we demand space for space for ourselves, we need to give the same space for other people in terms
Yes.
of feelings, thoughts, emotions, intentions, thinking, or perception, or cognition, or even attitudes and behavior. So the most important thing is the space which we claim. We need to leave the same space for the other people.
Yes.
And that's what tolerance means. Once we
Yes.
show tolerance and we are more tolerating to other people, it means we are more empathetical to other people.
Yes.
And once we have these two traits, I think we can better understand cultures,
Yes.
sensitivities in the cultures, people's background, their emotions, their feelings.
Yes.
If certain people behave in a certain way, before being judgmental, we need to understand their situation.
Yes.
Maybe they are fighting something more bigger,
Very hard battles.
hard battles, and everybody in this life is fighting his or her own battles.
Yes.
So before being judgmental, we need to have a some sort of sense of those battles through which a person
Yes.
is going. And once we have those kind of feelings or intentions or even sensitivity about the battles which people or other people are going through, then we can be empathetic instead of sympathetic. And once we are empathetic, we will be more tolerant. And once we are
Yes.
more tolerant, there will be space for us and for other people. I think that is the best solution.
Yes. So the crux of all our discussion was that be some empathetic with people, give them space, and be patient on your part. Thank you so much for giving us your
Welcome.
time. Thank you so much for watching all our program. Stay tuned, keep watching, and see you soon in next episode with another debatable discussion. Thank you so much for having me.